Hello and welcome to UGC E-Pathshala project. I am Sheetal Arora, Assistant Professor Criminology at Sardar Patel University of Police Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur. And I am going to present a module on depiction of police in media. Let's begin with learning objectives of this module. First, to make the learners understand the role of media in India. Second, to make the learners understand the role of media in creating image of police among public. Depiction means portraying or representing something through picture or portraiture. Depiction of police can be said as the presentation of the practices and standards of the police through the media. Whereas, to understand what is media, one may refer media as the method for correspondence that achieve expensive quantities of individuals, for example, TV, daily newspaper and radio. Like other societies, Indian society is captivated and scared with crime. Beginning from movies to books, daily newspapers to online networking sites, all are loaded with ordinary stories and discussions of wrongdoing and justice. The part of broad communications in this manner gets to be relevant in the light that normal individuals are always encompassed by different mediums and are shelled with message which at last help in development of pictures which either encourage or makes obstacles for people with significant influence of managing crime and justice. The broad communication always encompasses us, oftentimes educate us, and pretty much as often as possible misguide us. Consequently, the impact of broad communication is critical as media could be considered as an essential power, either immediate or later experience in molding individuals' perspective of crime. Likewise, broad communication, because of its pervasive nature, impacts open states of mind toward police force. News media in the essential hotspots for citizens' view of police, genuineness and routine wrongdoing reports through depiction of police as either brave or expert wrongdoing contenders or as incapable and awkward. The regular individuals is perplexed of the uniform and the force. As one hand praises when he discovers his saint in police clothing doing justice in movies, though then again the genuine police is constantly under suspicion in examination by the news media. Now regarding media. India is a democratic nation, certainly the biggest democracy in the event that is taken in connection of population, having the lengthiest constitution on the planet. It remains on four essential parts, that is the legislature, the executive, the judiciary and the media. Every one of them have their own particular significance. However, in like manner speech, we watch that the fourth mainstream of our popular government has a more extensive centrality as it is associated straightforwardly to the common man. Media assumes a significant part in development of mass. The three stages through which the common people can get the news of happenings of everyday occurrences are print media, electronic media, social media. In India, flexibility of press has been dealt with as a major aspect of the right to freedom of speech and expression ensured by Article 19, Clause 1A of the Constitution. Be that as it may, as specified in Article 19, Clause 2, sensible confinement can be put on this privilege in light of a legitimate concern for the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, public order in relation to contempt of court, decency or morality, defamation or incitement to an offence, Article 19, Clause 2, Constitution of India. Today, the part of media is very flawed and highly questionable. However, it is the fourth mainstay of majority rule government. Police, on the other hand, is the most connecting and visible associations of any society. These lines, they are the most friendly frontmen to the government in a democratic nation. Similar to India, police needs to execute more complex and collective obligations. In the public arena, they are deputed to protect citizens' rights and guarantee the best possible upkeep of peace and maintenance of law and order. So, the police job is essential for the smooth working of a democratic country. The obligations and capacities played by police in serving the public and in keeping up the standard of law spots them at the bleeding edge of the fight to defend human rights. Their perspective towards setbacks, wrongdoers, and witnesses profoundly influences subsequent progressions. Police officials today comprehensively agree that open backing is essential both for the authenticity of the police and the capacity of the police to battle crime viably. While numerous inquiries about show individuals by and large don't encourage the police and are not completely fulfilled by the way police play out their duties or obligations. It additionally exhibits that not all fragments of society hold similar negative conclusions. Now, regarding police and media. The expression police bring out a negative implication promptly before the layman. Representations and originations in media on police have made a picture that diminishes the general population from reviewing them as ordinary person. Securing open trust in the police is a critical test for police administrators. However, it is likewise critical for enrolling the general population to activities to lessen crime in the society. In addition, there is developing proof that public support relies upon the general population recognition that police treat individually decently and professionally. The layman is in astonishment and apprehension of this profession and sees everything that is awful with it. In real life, frequently police action and the organization is highlighted adversely deceptive the normal man, which in a way cause impediments for the police. In actuality, media has related police with uncontrolled disgrace and political alliance, however, has overlooked their constraints and their resolute activities to contact general society. People in general view of law enforcement authorities are to a great extent dedicated by their depiction in the broad communications. Media pictures of policing possess large amounts of the news and diversion media, TV dramatizations and reality appears, film, news, shows and other media groups. The representations of policing in these venues are habitually mistaken, furnishing the general population with deception about the way of police work. The popular conclusion about police is based incompletely upon what it finds in the media, and these suppositions are likely in the view of pictures that don't reflect reality. Both the police and the media perform fundamental parts in a democratic society with the typical goal of serving the overall public. Presentation of police are regularly over-sensationalized and harmed by news media, while some TV crime shows depict the police as brave, proficient crime fighters in romanticized way. In TV crime dramatization, greater part of violations are understood and criminal suspects are effectively captured. The police, as an age-old customary organization in India, is questioned by journal society. It is promised to ensure and hence working in a vacuum with an absence of goodwill and participation both from people in general and the media. Both the police and the media perform imperative parts in a democracy with the typical goal of serving the all-inclusive community. In a matter of seconds, the regular individuals need information about the police and the limitations under which they act, which thus has created deterrence instead of assistance in a customary shut police association. One approach to refine this police-public interface is more straightforwardness and the enhanced exposure of proper data from the police to the general population, and this requires sharpening, collaboration and common comprehension between the police and the voice of the general population, that is media. Now regarding police in the entertainment media. Police officers are depicted in an assortment of routes in the entertainment media. Motion pictures or movies, for example, Wanted, Singham, Dabang, Rowdy Rathore and other numerous more element characters who are over-the-top legends with boundless capability and unending courage, who in the end spare individuals from a dreadful enemy. The officers in TV appear are imperfect yet fair and dedicated legends. These movies and shows disregard the substances of policing. All things considered, police assets are frequently constrained and officers who use unlawful strategies to distribute justice are the exemption and not the standard. Lastly, those venues depict police as crime fighters securing the general public, ignoring the anxiety, depression, mental issues due to overtime which almost every policeman face during the course of their duty. An analysis of police TV shows exhibit that the depiction of policing is not exact and portrays what the policing profession involves. The greater parts of these dramatizations include the officers researching significant crime that are generally uncommon events as general rule, overlooking the violations that are conferred the most. Assaults, rape and murder are the violations unrealistic to influence the all-inclusive community, yet they have a tendency to be the ones portrayed most on police shows. This further propagates the crime battling picture of the police, disregarding the law and order maintenance and prevention of crime element of police duty. However, in reality, police don't every now and again take part in service-oriented tasks. And more often than not is reality spent as a crime solving and handling the law and order issues. Police dramatization additionally paint officers as being exceptionally fruitful in explaining in crimes. In reality, most crimes are not solved because of absence of evidences, unwillingness of witnesses to collaborate or absence of the suspect. These shows also overrepresent the use of force and misrepresent the use of force against unprivileged and people without any political support. This can project the image that these people are dangerous or unacceptable, and this is how the police respond to them. A precise point in the TV dramatization is the depiction of officers as a major aspect of a team. While real patrolling policemen may be alone, on bicycle or on their foot, there are usually other officers on duty at the same time. Also, there are claims to fame officers that can be brought in the occasions the patrolling policeman needs help. Regular references to these strengthened officers are made in TV. Frequently, these shows are not precise depictions, making a picture of policing that is more energizing and alluring than it is in all actuality. A large portion of these shows concentrate on the patrolling part of the policing, distorting the measure of cooperation that policing requires in comprehending violations. These shows have a tendency to describe officers as a continually being exceptionally occupied while on their duty. In actuality, not the greater part of an officer's obligation time is spent in vehicle pursuits or examining or investigating crime. There are numerous different duties to fulfill. Some TV reality shows, for example CID and Crime Patrol, concentrate on the criminologist work that must be put resource into tackling a noteworthy crime. While cooperation is spoken to, the emphasis is on real violations and not on the minor or petty crimes that are more basic in the public arena, further underscoring the crime-fighting picture of police. Different types of entertainment media portray police and crime in a way not consistent with life. A considerable lot of these depictions brand officers as awkward and exploitative and concentrate on serial murderers or homicides, assaults, or other sensationalized violations. This confines the picture of the police part to the crime fighter, ignoring the service and order maintenance functions of this profession. The internet has likewise turned out to be another wellspring of policing pictures. An outline quest for the policing nets a large number of website pages for police ruthlessness. Offense by police, pictures and recordings of police pursuits and shootings, though positive side has been dismissed. While police office sites often include statements of mission emphasizing a commitment to duty, different sites highlight pictures of the brave officers with little space dedicated to service and other maintenance undertaking. Now regarding police in the news media. Unlike the entertainment media, police officers are often portrayed as violators of human rights, supporters to criminals and most corrupt organization through the news media. TV broadcast every now and again highlight cases that officers are taking a shot at or have not effectively explained. This depiction is some of the time the consequence of the police department working with the news media to control what data is discharged to reporters. Police officers have a tendency to give data to the media that thinks about emphatically the association or those repairs a harm, dishonor. As a result, some police divisions are incompletely in charge of the picture anticipated in the news media. But the mainstream of media is always put light on the negative aspect of police, which might amount less in the current democratic situation, rather the positive side of the practices and standards of the police in India. Newscasts related to policing vary by venues. It appears that national broadcasts are more likely than local television agencies to carry stories related to police. Police-related stories on national newscasts are frequently related to their silly or petty mistakes or avoidable mistakes. News media report, both print and audiovisual, more frequently on policing, but the type of image projected varies by brand or company of the channel or publisher. Newscasts in smaller cities tend to report less wrongdoing, centered police exercises than other functioning of police involving law and order, etc., while those in bigger cities, it concentrates more on heinous crimes. The latter, likewise, tend to report more on negative things. The positive have done in journal, however, positive pictures of cops are not more regular than negative pictures in news stories, and most police-related stories give data around a crime or occasional, however, are not centered around the activities of the police as positive or negative. Now regarding impact of media portrayal on public opinion. The media depiction of police likely affects how general public sees the police. According to Mastro and Robinson, the cultivation hypothesis describes that repeated presentation to social issues on TV impacts a person's perspective of the world. Most people have likely been presented to police dramatization, reality appears or news stories, and have along these lines been presented to pictures of policing data incorrect. The clear achievement of the police in explaining crime in both entertainment and news media may bring about general public to have impossible assumptions with respect to what the police can accomplish. Further, the overrepresentation of sensational, brutal and violent crimes in the media affects people in general evaluation of danger for that sort of crime and also the handling functioning of the police regarding that. While concluding this presentation, one may note the following. The relationship between the police and the media in a democratic society need not generally be agreeable, but regardless of resistance and useful strain, there should be a reasonable measure of comprehension and energy about each other's part. Indeed, even media persons feel that they will assist the police just if the state of mind shows little thought towards their work as opposed to uncovering show of force. Police authorizes can arrange legitimate intelligent sessions with the media and train the law authorization officers appropriately. Police must be skilled in taking care of the media in such manner. Advertising methodologies ought to be planned to upgrade the picture of the police in the general population's mind, alongside orchestrating workshops and local spots to make regular individuals mindful about their rights. In this manner, constructing and friendly relationship between the police authorities, media and the normal individuals. Media can be dealt with as an associate as opposed to an adversary and can be useful in spreading data on departmental principles and practices and giving attention in regard to needed persons and lawbreakers. Police ought to handle this fundamental reality. Couples of writers get any genuine instructions about the criminal justice system or crime. Lastly, also the media relation department of the police needs to be trained properly on how to behave with media when confronted, especially during crisis. Journalists then can be trained and made to cooperate with the police officials too to solve problems facing the humankind, as both police and the journalist have some responsibility towards the society. Thank you.